All right, guys. Well, it's the weekend and I'm bored. I say we take this bad boy out and see where we can go. What do you guys think? So, since my buddy lives out in the desert, it's not far of a drive. We don't need to trailer the Can-Am, so we just hopped on the road and took some of our little side dirt roads through the neighborhood, and we're going to be heading towards those foothills directly ahead of us. But of course, before we get there, we're going to have to gas up and grab some energy drinks and some snacks and supplies so that we can make this a fun trip. Yeah. And of course, from the gas station, we went straight across the street, right onto the dirt roads. We're going to be taking these dirt roads through town because we can't necessarily drive street legal in this thing on the paved roads. But not to worry, where we live, you can see that these dirt roads head all the way into the foothills and all the way up to Big Bear. So that's the direction we're headed. And yeah, this should be fun. All right, you guys can see here, we're sort of just going back and forth, grid pattern style on the dirt roads. We had a couple of paved roads that we had to drive down, not far, just a little ways, so that we could get back over to the actual trail that will lead up the foothills and into the mountains directly ahead of us there. So we're going to be turning here and getting ourselves back onto the dirt roads that actually start cutting into those foothills just to my right there. So it's a beautiful day. Look at the sky. You know, you gotta love deserts when the weather is like this. Perfect. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, wasn't that windy. You know, it's towards the end of summer, beginning of fall. This is kind of the nice time to be out here in the high desert. In a couple more weeks, it's going to get real cold and real wet, and it even snows here in the high desert. So, you know, we got to get this in while we can. So here we are back on the dirt road. You can see that there are houses on this dirt road. So this dirt road is maintained by the county for these people, but we're going to be going out of the county and onto BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management, where we're going to have some recreating fun, off-road recreating fun. So here we go. We're making our way up the foothills now, and you'll see here where we have one last street sign before it all goes into BLM land. So we're passing some of the people that live out here. I would hate to be in that car driving on this road every day to and from work, but I don't need to worry about that. I don't work a normal job. I'm a travel writer and I make these crazy videos for y'all. So lucky me. I'm lucky for them. They were eating our dust a long time ago. So here we go. We're starting to make our way up in altitude from the valley floor into the mountains there. All right, so we're coming to the staging area. This is the spot I was telling you about. This is where a lot of the off-road enthusiasts like ourselves tend to meet up before taking the trail through BLM land and up the mountainside to Big Bear. We came to see if any of our friends from our off-roading group was here. They were not. We were sort of solo, but not really solo, you know, because as all off-road enthusiasts tend to stick together. So we're gonna kind of hang out, let these guys go ahead of us, and then we'll kind of follow up behind, just so that we're not completely alone out on the trail. So until everyone's ready to go, we're gonna get turned around and just kind of hang out for a few minutes until everyone is here and ready to go. So here is the county street, the dirt road I was telling you about. There's your last street sign, and you can see there is the sign to BLM heading into those foothills. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, so we're just double checking that our water didn't shift, our snacks didn't move out of the cooler. It looks like everyone's staging up getting ready to start heading up the hill. You can see, well, I guess you can't in this one, but in the next scene here, you'll probably see, yeah, there it is. A little bit of dust trail being kicked up from the guys who just took off ahead of us. And yeah, we're following up now. You can see here where a few of the Jeeps kind of turned off the trail to take this more technical route. We thought, hey, we're in a Can-Am, let's give it a shot. I mean, that's what we're doing out here, off-roading. And you can see that this path is, well, need I say treacherous? There's a massive ravine right through the center of it. I'm not sure we're wide enough to actually be able to straddle over this. And you'll find out real soon here that Dennis also was not quite sure if we're going to make it over this thing. But, well, you'll see here, because here we go. Look at that. That thing it drops in about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet. And we need to kind of straddle over that to get through. Now, nothing bad about the Can-Am. The Can-Am is a beast of an off-roading machine, and a person could be so lucky to have a setup like this. But the Can-Am, as we're going to find here, is not as wide of a wheelbase as Jeeps. And as you're going to find out when off-roading, sometimes a wide wheelbase is exactly what you need. We don't have it, so you're going to see us just kind of fall in, and boom, there we go. We're on our side. We've just slid into that ravine. Dennis is going to try and crawl us out, but you're going to find that we need to come up with a plan. Not to worry, this is something Dennis does all the time. He's got a plan.
Do you mind doing me a favor?
What's that?
Can you just stay on this side right here and just kind of help hold weight?
Sure.
Because I have to back up. I can't.
Now, you won't see me hanging on because I couldn't film, but you can see that it worked. We kept the weight on. Dennis backed it right out of that ravine. I think we're going to skip this part of the trail because, as you can see, it only gets worse as you go up. So we're going to cut back around and take the road like we should have in the beginning. But what's the point of off-roading if you can't get stuck once in a while, right? I mean, right? Lucky for us, this road is pretty much made for sort of street vehicles, not necessarily off-road vehicles like what we're in. So the rest of the trip is going to be pretty, I guess, smooth would be a bad word for it, because we don't exactly want it to be smooth, but it is, we'll say, off-roading fun. Dennis is all about drifting around corners and hitting some of these whoop-de-doos at good speed. Give us a little bit of a thrill there. It's not as exciting from inside when you're filming it, and I think it's just because the camera doesn't have a wide angle to sort of capture everything. But we are moving at a pretty good speed for being off-road. We're definitely doing things I wouldn't want to do in the 4Runner. This Can-Am handles extremely well. It's hard to tell, but we're going up and down some pretty vertical areas here, and some of these drop-offs are intense. You can see us sort of bouncing around. I definitely wouldn't be doing the same thing in, say, the Jeep or the 4Runner. We'd be going a heck of a lot slower. So again, we are making it through the massive boulder field here in the high desert. And as we make our way through and up in elevation, you'll start to see these boulders start to sort of disappear, remain in the valley, as it were. And the scenery starts to change. It starts to take on a completely different feel as we work our way up the foothills and into the mountains. So we're going to look back here in just a second. You'll see the desert behind us, way out there in the valley. And then you'll see that we are going to just continue right up the foothills and into the mountains there. So there's the valley I was talking about. That's the desert behind us. We drove up that valley through the desert, and we're heading this way, like I said, into the foothills towards Big Bear there.
for those of you who know about Big Bear, it's a wonderful ski resort and a cool outdoor area here in Southern California, which isn't too far from LA. So anyone who's coming out to LA to visit, if you get a chance, hop the train, head east, go up in the mountains, and check out Big Bear. It's a beautiful spot. It's got great restaurants and really cool people. There you go, folks. Look at this. Do you see what I see as we make our way towards the mountain? Do you see something different? Do you know what those are? Those are trees. We've got trees. And now I'm not talking Joshua trees. I'm talking pine trees. The kind of trees that you find in the mountains. And to celebrate our making it to the mountains, Dennis he's taking these whoop-de-doos for you guys at about 60 miles an hour. Needless to say, we pulled off somewhere to take in these pine trees. Beautiful black pines all over the place here. It just changes the scenery. Hey, if you are the guy who left the bag of garbage up here, shame on you. Shame on you. You know, everyone loves the fact that we have these woods here so that we can go out and enjoy them. But it's hard for me to enjoy them when people leave an entire bag of garbage behind, knowing that the animals were going to just tear it up. I'm done ranting. Let's just keep going. So we're going to hop back in the Can-Am and continue the way up the mountain. We're going to a campsite, which you can see here off to the right there. This is where people can come and go camping. We took the back route in. Those guys that are there camping drove up the paved road, which there is a paved road. It takes you all the way up here. You can see the paved road we're on now. But we took the backside, up the dirt road through the trail. Either way, it'll get you here. It's a great place to come with the family, to just camp, maybe do some off-roading. We found the other group from earlier down in the desert. They made it up here. We see that they're all gathered around the watering hole and the pit toilets there. So we're going to do the same. We're going to roll in there, check out some of the other off-road vehicles, hang out, stretch our legs a little bit before we start making our way back down the mountain, back through the foothills, and back into the desert. All right, guys, so you can see there are some serious machines here. There are tens of thousands of dollars in extra parts just sitting on all those vehicles back there. Wow. So again, we're at Big Pine Flats. This is the area that everyone likes to gather in before going way out onto the trails to go for Pine. Today, we're not doing that. We only wanted to make it to this point just to go for a short ride.
Hey y'all, I wanted to take a minute in the middle of this video to bring up a couple things. First of all, we're not making fun of anybody with a little bit of an accent. I'm actually from the Northwest, up in Washington. We say things like y'all and crick and wrestling. And when I hear other people speaking that way, I get a little warm spot in my heart, because I know that that's a part of America that not everybody shares. So when you hear us talking about having a rooftop tent and all that, and we're in Southern California, we're not your typical Southern California boys. Like I said, I'm from the woods up north, and my boys from the mountains a little bit east. So yeah, I just thought I'd say that. We're not making fun of anybody, y'all. We're not. This is who we are, and this is what we do. So anyways, back to the video.
Yeah, I only brought that up because a lot of people think that I'm making fun of other people when I say things like y'all, or if I emphasize the word crack. I'm not trying to make fun at all. Like I said, I'm just paying homage to my roots. Yeah. Okay. Remember, guys, when you're leaving the campgrounds, take it nice and easy. We don't want anyone getting thrown off of their vehicle, maybe losing a chancla on the road. Yeah, take it nice and slow until you get out here into the desert. And then I suppose y'all can open it up to your heart's content. So you can see us easing our way through the campsite, through the trees, making our way out of the recreational area for families and towards the area where we can just open her up. Alright, you can see that other vehicles are working their way up as we're working our way down. We, of course, gave them hand signals to let them know that there was nobody behind us. They let us know that there was a couple people behind them. That way we're not just flying around corners or shooting over hills blindly. We know that there's a few more people coming, and they know that there's no one behind us, so they can open her up. We're out here to have fun, guys, but let's be safe about it, right? So it's really hard to capture how vertical we get sometimes going up and down these hills here. The camera's just not doing it justice, but it gets a little tricky there. Look at this. We got big, huge washout ravines and boulders everywhere. So it's a little more technical than what you can see here on the phone camera. I wish I had a better camera for you guys. I got my camera a little bit dirty last time I was at the Baja 1000 in Mexico, and I have yet to get it serviced. So that's why I'm stuck with the phone camera. But needless to say, there you guys go. Look at that. That's the desert that I'm currently living in. That's where Dennis's house is. It's a little easier view from up here looking down. You can see just how vertical it gets, but yeah, we're working our way back down into the desert valley floor, and then back over to those dirt roads so that we can hustle our way across the dirt roads through town and back to Dennis's house. This was just something we wanted to do for the day. We got up early in the morning. We're heading back. It's just a little past noon now. So, we're lucky in that aspect of being out here in the high desert and having all of this land around here for us to play in and have fun in. I think people forget that there's this part of California as well. It's not just beaches and Disneyland. We have beautiful mountains, creeks, waterfalls, and whatnot. So there you guys go. I hope you had fun.